All right, we're live, episode 41 of the War Room. We've got Brian Wood joining us and Jimmy Johnson. Thank you, guys.
Mhm.
So we will go ahead and get this thing started. We got to work on that intro. We got to change it. We haven't been on here in a while, Brian. We're
I know
halfway.
we got to come up with something better.
We got that. We got to add some demo one stuff in there. So
Sure.
we'll get that worked on. So big news tonight, and let's do some some maintenance here, Brian. First, go over some
Sure.
things, and then we'll announce some news we got for demo 2 and beyond.
Yeah. So the first thing while we're starting out here, just to cover, we have memberships on sale right now on our website through tomorrow. It's a pretty nice discount. I believe it's a 25% discount. So we have our yellow, blue and red tier memberships discounted right now. There's a lot of value in those memberships. For those upper tier memberships, you're getting that ability to sign up for events sooner than everybody else. There's good swag packs involved with their discounts to hotels and restaurants and different things. You're always looking to add value to those membership packages as well. We're looking at creating an exclusive zone on our website for members only to get exclusive content and access to our drivers and our events. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check those out, it's on our website, www.demo-motorsports.com. Go to our membership tab there at the top and check out our memberships and see where you fall. It'll give you a chance to be a part of the organization, and we certainly can use your support. Next thing we got coming up this June 13th, 13th through 15th in Lima, Ohio at the Allen County Fairgrounds. We're going to have Demo 2, the King. Really exciting. A lot of great divisions that are going to be competing there. We're going to talk a little bit about some of those divisions here tonight. Big money show. It's going to be really exciting. If you were there last year, it was called the King of Ohio. We rebranded it this year into Demo 2, the King. Very exciting show. A lot of action on the track. We're excited about that. So stay tuned for some more information about that particular show. But really what we want to do is we want to introduce everybody to our competition director in Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy is a very well-respected derbier person throughout the sport, throughout the country, in a lot of different circles, a lot of different areas. He's got a lot of experience in demolition derby, and we are more than honored to have him be a part of our team, and especially in this role. It's a very important role for our organization, for our events. He is over top of all of our inspection processes and inspectors, as well as our officiating crews on the wall. There's a lot of responsibility there, but I feel extremely confident in having him being a part of us and in that role. So we just want to welcome Jimmy on board and introduce him to everybody and get familiar with him. If you haven't already gotten a chance to meet him throughout the years, you'll find that he's a very professional guy to talk to and has a lot of good insight. So, Jimmy, thank you for coming on board with us, man.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right.
Jimmy, let's talk a little bit about your role. You're not completely new to demo. You played this role at Demo 1, 2, and you're back for the foreseeable future here. Let's talk a little bit about why we are having a competition director, what that means in your eyes, and kind of where you want to help shape the direction of demo.
Well, it helps separate the drivers from the promoter. Gives an unbiased outside opinion. The guys that are running out there, we've always had an issue where we have the head techs or and the driver, they get into ruckuses. If you have a competition director that can step in between them and make an unbiased opinion to or the call, it makes it easier so you can put that thing to rest and not spend as much time focused on whatever the issue may be. So once that goes to the competition director, the call is final, and that's it.
And Jimmy, you were able to make a couple of those calls at Demo 1, right? Where you stepped in and did some things that I don't know if anyone's ever done in our world. And that instant replay, can you walk us through that? How that became a thing?
Well, there's a lot of things happening on the track at once with 3 different teams. We just made the call, and we had guys that couldn't see the back side of the cars. We got guys that couldn't see the front side of the cars. We knew something happened. We didn't know exactly what. The fans were really into it. They were screaming and hollering. The best thing to do is a picture's worth 1,000 words. We went to the trailer. I reviewed the footage. I found it, put it up on the big screen, went up to the media center, and we just walked everybody through what happened. Once we did that, it seemed to put everything to bed, and we went on about Derbyan.
You know, Jimmy, what was so unique about that is I think if you go back in real time and look at the comments, even on the pages or just on Facebook in general, people were upset with the call, upset, and then you came out and you straightened it all out, and there really just wasn't any argument. There was a lot of, hey, wow, you guys got that right, or we didn't see it, because not everyone sees everything, right? And
where it was right there in front of it, and I'll be honest, I did not see it. I knew something wasn't right, but and it's not to say that I wouldn't have done the same thing that guy did. I'm not bashing on him at all, but when you do stuff like that, you take chances, you get caught, you gotta own it, and he did, and he was very professional about it. And we went on about Derbyan, and there was nothing more said.
Right.
Yeah, in that particular instance, those guys were as professional as you could be. I mean,
yeah,
I
very
think
much so.
you just said, I think, yeah, it was actually on camera. Hey, look, if you're not in, can you move your car? Can you still participate in the Derby? And everyone shook their head. No, you can't. Everyone knows that. And then you went and watched the replay, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't know if I'm not moving it I'm moving for my teammate. I mean, there's $100,000 on the line.
Right.
I mean, I get it, but
hey, with that camera, it don't lie, and it zooms right in on things. They can do things in that trailer. So if everybody thinks that they're going to get by with something, I can go in that trailer and I can have them zoom in on certain things and replay it in slow motion or do whatever, and I can find it. So we did it on then. I think we did it again on in the Bone Stock Heat. Maybe was that the Bone Stock Heat with Mike Frischka?
Yep.
Pro stock, yeah.
Pro stock,
yeah.
So with everything being said, I think the utilizing whichever video crew is doing it, it doesn't matter who's is doing it, but utilizing them guys in that way is going to be the future of sport. And hey, it takes a lot of pressure off the techs. They don't have to eat it for months and thereafter. They can instant replay it. They don't have to make the call, make people hold tight where they're at. It takes 5 minutes. We can go get this thing straightened out, and we don't have to eat crow for the next year.
Right. And, that's something that you see in a lot of other sports, right? Whether we're talking about motorsports or other sports, is they utilize technology to their advantage, for the sake of the integrity of the competition. And that's exactly what we want to continue to do in this sport, and utilizing replay is a big part of that. So we're going to continue doing that. And I just, you don't want to see those situations come up too much, but when the situation presents itself, and you execute it correctly and you make the right call, I think that speaks volumes to where we're moving in the direction we're moving in the sport. So,
yeah, guys, and just a little bit more on that, as we continue and everybody else continues to up their game with the payouts, and it's just going to create more pressure on everyone to get these calls right. And Jimmy, essentially, why your position exists is because we're aware of that, and we want to make sure that we have the foresight to know that, hey, we need a person in place to get better at these calls, to make sure that we're getting things right, that you're putting people in the right place, that are qualified, that are respected, that are going to make the right calls. And because I tell you, man, paying $100,000 is awesome, but the intensity and between first and second, or winners and losers, it just amps everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And we got to get it right. You got it. People don't understand, and the call's the call. And if it was wrong later, you know, you don't hear a lot of people coming out and admitting that. And it's hard to do it. But if we do it up front, and if we have to go check ourselves, that's what we'll do it. That's what, like you said, that's what technology is for. We're all human. But if we can go back and rewatch something in slow-mo, I can zoom in on it. I can see it. It's easier to make the call, take the pressure off the head techs. It really is. And that's a thankless job, man. So, you know, them guys they're head techs and they're taking all the heat. They've took calls for 3 months. They're, you know, we got to make sure we take a little bit of the heat off them guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I think the drivers will respect it too. I think there's a shift and a transition of the sport going on right now, where it's just getting bigger and bigger, and we're able to do things not just on our end, collectively across the sport that's going to help. You know, it's going to be beneficial for the sport. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, what else? Competition director, what else do we want to go into on that?
It's up to you guys.
I think we covered the biggest things. You know, the biggest thing is just like you said, is having that outside person in with eyes and ears on processes, and it frees up other people. It allows, I think, for a more efficient operation of the event from the promotion side of things. You know, guys like you, guys like me, Dustin, we're very busy during the event itself, and to have somebody that we trust, to where we don't necessarily have to have our eyes on inspection, or we don't have to take care of a number of those things in preparing for, you know, drivers meetings or running the actual event on the track. We can deal with, you know, all the other things that come up. It's just a huge help. And, you know, we're always looking for more help. So if there's anybody out there who's interested in, you know, coming on board with us and seeing how things work and wanting to help us out, we'll put you to work. We will do our best to mentor you and train you and help you understand that, you know, the backside of running a demolition derby, you know, it's a lot. You know, it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, and I think, you know, there's a lot to be learned there.
Yeah, Brian, you hit the nail on the head there when you talk about our events are going to start becoming more than just a demolition derby. You know, our combat motorsports. I mean, that's really going to be about the production and the execution of, you know, the entertainment, because that's essentially what we are. We're entertainment. And Jimmy's role just allows, you know, us to go out there and execute, make sure that, with DTV, you know, and Derby Nation, what they did, all the extras, all the things that are going behind the scenes that nobody sees, all the interviews that we did, that, you know, this all takes time, coordination, effort, and you just simply can't do everything. So as we raise the bar on every aspect of our show, I mean, this is very important.
Yeah. And keep in mind that, you know, the production that we had at Demo 1 was outstanding. It was awesome. We did a lot of cool things there. And, you know, if you enjoyed watching that on the live stream or the pay-per-view, there's more to come. You know, we have a lot more things in the works to do and build off that into the future here. So I'm really excited about all that.
You know, hey, real quick on that, if you guys haven't already, we have a YouTube channel that we are releasing all the heats, and then we will also release snippets of the docuseries that's filmed. So that's a more in-depth look, a behind-the-scenes look that you just don't get anywhere else. Jimmy and the guys were well aware that there was cameras floating around everywhere, and it's raw, it's organic, it's real, and you know, that stuff's going to be coming out in the next, I don't know, probably give it a couple months here before we start introducing that hype train. But in the meantime, catch the heats. If you didn't get a chance to rent it on Derby Nation, catch the heats online, and please like, subscribe to the page.
All right. Well, hey man, let's get into Demo 2, and let's talk about this exciting new division, an opportunity that we're offering at this event. You know, I think it's really exciting. We're going to call it the Combat Division, is what this new division's called. You know, Dustin, I'll let you continue on with the explanation. We'll go right through everything about it. But, This is a really cool opportunity, I think, for a lot of drivers out there who have cars sitting around that maybe they never thought they'd get to running.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Demo 2, it's always been a singles event, and with the big class, and we wanted to keep it a singles event. We went back and forth. Sometimes it takes a little back and forth to get it right, but we think we delivered. The drivers have spoken, and Jimmy has helped us work behind the scenes as well as the demo guys to come up with a class that we're going to call the combat division. It's going to be pre-rans. Pre-rans are going to be welcome. There's going to be a plethora of cars out there, okay, for choice. And Jimmy, I'll let you go into that, and which cars and rule sets we're using, and what we're doing there.
Okay, guys, what we thought would be nice is if we all have mod cars from either Demo, Blizzard Bash, Bash for Cash, Gold Rush, different things like that laying around that we cannot use. Okay, and we've got a fortune in them. We all know that. And this will give the opportunity in each one of these. We're going to take the maximum in each part of the set of the rules, and we're going to some cars like are going to be boosted. They're going to be allowed to do this and this and this to keep up with this. But when we're done, all these cars will be able to run together and hold up against one another. Everybody's got their pros and cons that they like. This keeps you from having to cut a car up, but you'll be able to add to that the maximum of what that car was allowed to do in that particular area, and different things in other areas to keep up with the Joneses per se. I don't believe this has ever been done before. I don't want guys having to cut their cars up. I want them to be able to add two in certain areas. Other guys are going to have to stay static. They're not going to be able to do anything because they're probably at the max right now in that area. But this car was less, so it gets to add two to make it happen. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It gives an opportunity. So if we can get 60 cars, we're running for 50 G's. And I don't believe anybody with used cars or anything like that has ever ran for that much money. So we need to get 60 cars, guys, to make this happen. I believe we can. I just think it's a matter of getting with your friends, getting a group of guys together, pulling your cars out of the weeds, get your stuff put back in them, get them where they're mobile, and go to work. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, you don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of this, because this gives you a chance. Not all cars are going to be identical, but all cars are going to be equal. So by the time this is said and done, and on this particular class, I'll be taking the calls on it. I'll work with you guys. We'll identify what derby you ran that car at as far as a set of rules, and then we'll walk, the rules that we got, we'll walk you through exactly what you'll be able to do for that particular car to make it max. And I call max is going to be our friend, and max is going to be where all the cars are going to be created equal. Like I said, I don't like cutting up on cars. Other guys don't like cutting on cars, putting all that heat. But if we can add a few things in different areas to make all these cars equal, then I think that's where we're going to be at. So I look forward to it. I think all the demo guys are looking forward to it. And like I said, just don't be afraid to reach out and ask. No such thing as stupid questions. Just sometimes you get stupid answers. So just bear with the idea and think about it. I think you guys will like this. And the way that they've got these heats set up is kind of unique also. And I'll let Dustin and Brian kind of explain that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to reiterate, nobody's really ever done this in terms of paid really big money in allowed pre-ran cars. We think a lot of these cars and these rule sets, they get to a point where there's not really much else you can do to them. So let's run them together. Let's pay big money. Demo one was really the first big opportunity for guys across the nation to come to a single show. Usually shows are territorial, and regional. You might have a team in there, but Demo one we saw, really the nation there, and we want to continue that into Demo two. So that's the reason, for combining these rule sets and paying this money. So a lot of money on the line. Like Jimmy said, with 60 entries, if you guys aren't aware, we pay based on the entries. So it's set out, it's 50,000 to win. I think it's 10,000 second, 5. That is based on 60 entries. Okay. So just to be clear, like in the past, last year at this particular show, under this format, we paid 40,000 to win, meaning we got 45 entries. And with 45 entries, we paid, the 40,000 to win, the most money in the entire country. And we've done that for 3 straight years now. And we, anticipate this being full. So paying the 50,000. So there's tons of these cars out there. And we mauled this. Hey, what's the right thing to do? Hey, you got to keep them fresh at big shows. And we just really think this is going to be such a good format, or such a good show, such good entertainment to get everybody on the same track, and then running the format. Jimmy, you've never seen the format live. We talked a little bit about it. Sounds like you're a fan. Brian, you've seen it live, up and close. Some of our drivers have seen it. Some of them are going to be running it for the first time. Guys, our format is unlike anything else out there. It's 3 cars. You're in a pot of 3 on the track. So there's no politics, there's no BS, there's no nothing. Now, look, there could be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 on the track. Generally, we're going to have 9 to 12, maybe up to 15 on the track at one time. But your main concern is you have to beat your 2 that are in your color. If you want to see what that's like, go back and watch previous King of Ohio shows. You can get on our YouTube and see that. But look, really the challenge is to you guys. How bad of a dude are you, right? I mean, you got to beat 2 cars and you're in the feature for possibly 50 grand. Guys have found out that beating 2 cars is a little bit challenging, and I'll tell you what we found out is it's very entertaining.
Right. Because essentially what you have going on is, you got 12 cars on the track. You got 4 different pods. You have 4 different heats going on at once. And, everybody kind of goes to their little area to battle it out. And, as a fan, you're sitting there trying to figure out which one you want to watch. You got a different favorite in each group, someone you're pulling for. There's different storylines in each group. There's different, drama, associated with who's competing against who. And the great thing about it is these guys don't know who they're going against right until they go into the track. We draw right at the track right before they go in, and it just heightens that anxiety level of the drivers, that anticipation for the fans of who they're going to see. It's really, really fun. And it's just something different that you don't normally see. And on top of that, our heats don't last an hour. Our heats last an average of 10 to 12 minutes, something in that area.
10 to 12 minutes in 4 years of running this.
Yeah.
Paying the most money in the country.
So these guys get after it. And the name of the game when you're only against going 2 other people is there's nowhere to hide. There's no waiting around. There's no feeling it out. It's just let's get going here. Let's go. And if you can beat those other 2 cars in 10 seconds, great. If it takes you 10 minutes, then it takes you 10 minutes. But once you beat those 2 cars, you're in the feature. So there's all different strategies involved in it. It's really, really fun to watch. And then our feature events have featured 15 cars for the most part. And those last, half hour, 45 minutes at the most. And, it's just a really exciting way to end a big money show. You don't have to sit there for 3 hours and wait it out. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Yeah, and those guys that have, become fans of these team shows because they're a lot faster pace. It is kill or be killed on the track. This is going to fit right into what you like. In Demolition Derby. And we call it combat motorsports because it is a kill or be killed. And there is no avoiding contact. There is nothing going on, except we have winners and we have losers. And, one of the cool things, Jimmy, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but we have records, okay, that we put out of these guys that are competing in the format. So you can't hide from your record, right? Either you win these format heats or you don't. And so now there's records to drivers, and there's no more, well, he's really good. Well, the record doesn't prove that he's really good, or the record does prove that he's really good. We've got people like a couple names that come off my top of my head are like Bruce McGuire, Jacob Beaver, Ben Bowersock—he's in here. These guys have that all won heats. Bruce and Jacob have literally made their, put their name on the map, as well as Ben, in these heats. So anybody can beat anybody at any given time. And basically, when you run these heats, it is any given Sunday.
The neat thing about it, then you go from that that event there through the heats, and then you revert back. So you got to change your driving style, because then you go back from that, you go right to the feature. And the feature, you don't have these colors. So it changes things up, changes the politics, it changes everything around the board.
Yeah, it's a challenge, right?
And you have no control over these colors. So they come through, and when they identify you and give you these different colors, there's no control. So there's no politics in the heats. None.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
you get what you got.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The intensity. You want to talk about intensity. You want to talk about emotion. Really every winner that we've had under this particular format, it's been an emotional win because it is a challenging win. Most sports out there are challenging you, and in a way, whether it's with the track or the setup or the cars, or just you have to run against the best. We are doing that here. We are putting you in a spot where you have to be the baddest dude on the track that day. And the cream rises to the top as always, and we get to sit there and watch it, unfold live.
Right. And we're not just doing that in our combat division. There's other divisions we're going to feature the format in as well. So, we have our full size elite light division. We have old school wire, our compact elite 2-man teams. What else is there? I would do our futures division, which is going to be our youth division that we're coming out with here. That's going to also run it. But we have other divisions as well that aren't going to feature the format. They're just going to be more of the traditional one and done format. We have our full size pro trucks, which is always a fan favorite there. It's near and dear to my heart. Minivan elite light, in our MWFA class. So, there's options for you out there to run and participate at this event. And it's going to be an electric event, for 3 nights. Like I said, at the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, June 13th through 15th. So check it out on the website. The information is there. We're adding more. We're ironing out details here. And, we're excited to offer this event here in June.
On that, I just want to reiterate, what we're doing there. We're trying to get our events. If you guys have been following our events, we're trying to get our events from 8 hours, 7 hours down to this 4-hour mark. So when we offer these classes, we're going to put a cutoff date to them. Some of these classes aren't going to make it. Like if people don't sign up for classes, especially really those one and dones, they will get cut. So just be aware of that. We want you to come run on this stage. But, quite frankly, if we can't get the cars, we're going to cut that out of the program because, people want 3, 4, maybe 5 hours of entertainment max is what we found. And we want to be able to provide that excellent, fast-paced entertainment, getting cars on and off the track, speeding things up. We don't want to go 8 hours, especially, we'll talk a little bit about Demo 3 coming up. I see some of the comments. Especially like at a place like that, people just don't want to be entertained for 8 hours. Right. So, be aware of that when that happens.
Well, and I'll speak to that a little bit more. The reason being is, we want this to be a family event. We want to offer other things for the entire family to enjoy throughout the day, and then, end the event at a reasonable hour in the evening, so you can go have fun. You can go, party with your friends, and go meet new people. Go spend time with people that you don't get to spend time with throughout the year. We all know that we go to a lot of these events. For some of us who go to a lot of them, we don't necessarily go, to sit in the stands the whole time. We go to talk to people that we don't get to see very often. So it's a great opportunity, I think, to kind of slim the actual, run time of the event down and maximize the other time that is there. Offer fun activities for everybody to do before and after the show each night.
Got a couple comments here. Randy's chiming in. He's been through the format. He understands. Confirms the live draws bring the anxiety. Yeah, man, there is just Jimmy. I can't wait for you to experience it live, because you're drawing straight out of a bucket. Guys are, and it makes for content gold, because last year we got to do this. This year we're going to do the same thing. Jimmy, imagine a camera following you from that draw, you getting maybe you're going to get a tough draw. I mean, that's just how it works, right? And as you got that tough draw, they're following you to your car. You're getting all suited up, quickly, right? Couple minutes, and you're pulling directly onto the track. And it's either, Jimmy, you got it today or you don't, and all the cameras are on you.
Well, like I said, in some of our other meetings, I think this is great. It's going to help, some of these drivers. It's all about the drivers, first of all. And them guys getting rid of some cars and having a good time in it, and just experiencing something new. Everybody's, we all do the same thing over and over again. It's still fun, but something new is always nice, and just have a good time that weekend. But you're running for 50 grand. If we can get 60 cars, guys, 50 grand, that's just unheard of for used cars. It's just unheard of. So I challenge all these guys from these states all around, put a car together for 50 grand. You can afford to make the trip. Most people all have 2-car trailers. Get a buddy, throw cars on there, and come and run.
Yeah, that brings me to something we want to mention. If you do have a buddy, some of the concern is that you could draw them in a heat. Jimmy, something you might not be familiar with, we do a friendly foe. So if you are a member of Demo and have a valid membership, you get a friendly foe. So what that means, Jimmy, if me and you are building in the same garage and we're buddies and we're coming to the show, we can pick each other in inspection. So I have to write you down. You have to write me down. And what's going to happen is you're guaranteed not to draw each other. So you do get to come there with a buddy. So what we would say to each other, Jimmy, is, hey, you win your battle in your heat, I'll win mine, and I'll see you in the feature, and we can run together, and put it on the line for that 50 grand. So don't be afraid to come with a buddy. Because you can do that friendly foe. There, you only get one. Again, Jimmy, you have to put me down. I have to put you down. It can't be a trio. You can't game the system where I put Jimmy, Jimmy puts Brian, Brian puts me. It doesn't work like that.
Now, Dustin, you're sitting there talking out your ass, because there's no chance me and you would be friendly foes. I'd come right after your ass.
I'll vouch for that. But
no, hey, but you gotta be a member to do that friendly foe.
Yeah,
guys, think about that.
Specifically a blue or a yellow tier member.
Yep.
Okay, so think about that, because they're on sale right now. If you guys, you're interested in doing this and you don't want to lose that ace in the hole, get online, get your membership out of the way now, because you get it at a discounted rate. So
and keep in mind, guys, these memberships, they come with other features. You get discounts to hotels, you get discounts to restaurants, and especially in the local area there in Lima, there's a lot of hotels that are very close to the fairgrounds, restaurants that are very close to the fairgrounds, that are very familiar with this event now, because it's been going on for, is this year 6, Dustin, or 5?
Year five.
This is year 5. So they're familiar with the event. They're familiar with who we are. They're willing to work with us. We have good relationships with those people, and you can pay yourself back the cost of that membership just by staying at a hotel or going out to eat. There's a lot of ways to make that money back. So it's more than worth the value, if you really break it down and you think about it. Now, look, the fairgrounds that we have this at the Allen County Fairgrounds there in Lima are an outstanding fairgrounds, great facilities, lots of camping, lots of space. We have plenty of room for vendors, for other things to set up other activities for the kids. We're going to utilize that space and maximize it so you get the whole experience while you're there. So trust us, it's a really great place to go. We have a great relationship with the fairgrounds as well, and we're more than excited to get into that this year and move on with Demo 2.
Yeah, Robbie says there's clean hot showers there. Yeah, it's just a really nice facility. I think everyone will be very impressed. With the facility. Jimmy,
well, guys, let's cover how they sign up for this, and then also let's the cost and explain that a little bit so they kind of understand what we got going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, you want to go with signups?
Yeah, so go on our website, www.demo-motorsports.com. On the homepage there is a tabs at the top for our events. And I even think on the homepage right now, there's a direct link to Demo 2 information. You can go right to that Demo 2 information link. There's a competitor registration link right above it. There's tickets and camping right above that. You click on any one of those, it's going to take you to the page where you can actually sign up. There's different tabs on that page too. So you have competition entries tab, then you have weekend tickets tab, then you have weekend camping tabs for electric sites or full hookup sites. You can pick those while you're there. It's basically a one-stop shop. So if you click on the competition entries tab there, it's going to list out all the different divisions that we're offering. And the only one we don't have on there right now is the futures division, because we're still ironing out some details with that. We want to make sure we have that right before we put it out on the website, but we'll have that up very soon. So if you go down the list, your combat division is the first one. That's an $800 entry fee based on 60 entries. Again, you're running for $50,000. Pre-ran cars, $50,000. And the rest of the payout structures underneath it. Your full-size Elite Light, this is based on 60 entries. This is $20,000 to win. These are two-man teams, right, Dustin?
Full-size Elite Light this year is the format.
It's the singles. We're going singles. You're right.
60
so
entries
this is a
again.
Singles division now. So based on 60 entries in this class, this is a stock build, a very light build, $20,000 to win a stock build class, $350 for that entry. Old school wire moving on down. Again, this is a singles format, and we're running the format in this division as well. $10,000 to win based on 30 entries. For you guys who like to run that old iron, that very basic old school build in the old iron division, this is your opportunity. Old school wire division, $300 for that.
And Brian, let me jump in real quick. Nowhere in the country are you going to be able to run a stock rear-wheel drive for $20,000 to win. It's just not going to happen. And you're not able to. Jimmy, you've seen it. You've been around, a minute, right? You've seen the $10,000 shows. We talked about it last night. This is paying $10,000 based on 30 entries, not 30 cars that show up, Jimmy, 30 entries that come in. Usually 10K shows, they were drawing 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 entries, for quite a while there. So for 30 entries.
Right. And if we can back up just a little bit, we talk about the used cars. Guys, $800 seems like a lot until you think about, I don't have to buy a car for this. I don't have to, it's not a fresh car. I don't have to go out and buy a Vic. I don't have to go out and buy a Buick. I don't have to go out and buy an old Chevy, which you're going to pay $2,000 or $3,000 for. So honestly, $800 at a chance to win 50 with a used car, you're not out any money. You're actually saving money overall.
Yeah.
But you're still running for 50.
You're still running for huge money.
Right.
It's unbelievable. You know, on that rear wheel drive stock, Robbie Crittenden and Robbie's in here right now, and I know he's not going to like us beating his drum, but he's really the one that invented this class. Robbie has proven that this 4.6 and his platform can compete and can run and is very entertaining. So those guys that don't want to go out and spend all that money, you know, Jimmy, they'll spend a couple $1,000 and now they're competing for 20. And I think we're about 42 to 45 entries on that class right now, somewhere around there.
We're filling up. It's getting close.
So what do we got? Maybe 18 entries left, 20 entries left to get there. But yeah, hats off to Robbie. Everything that he's done for us, you know, he's been involved like the whole time. Whether it's when we needed to lean on someone for the big three or just anything, right, Brian? I mean, the Australian cars, it's unbelievable what this guy has done for the Derby world. And, you know, we're trying to give back to him, right? We want that class. We offered that class to pay 20 grand because Robbie has taken it there. He sticks up for his guys. If you know Robbie, he loves this rear-wheel drive stock class and thinks that these guys are as bad as any dude on the planet. And I said, all right, Robbie, you know, if they're as bad as any dude on the planet, here's the format. Let's see how bad of dudes these guys are.
Yeah, and I'll go to bat for anybody who's willing to go into a retail store that sells used clothes and buy outfits for everybody and look like idiots, you know, like we did with a couple of the guys. Robbie was part of that. Robbie's just a good guy. So, you know, he's done a lot for the sport, and we want to continue to honor those people that do good things for the sport.
And here he is. Just so you guys know what it takes. If you don't have a rear-wheel drive stock setup, we went down the Robbies and built 2 cars for the Australians in 4 days, you know, to make it to that show. That same exact build. It took us 4 days to build 2 cars. Now, look, Robbie's like a pro at this. I mean, he knows every little detail, so it might take you a week or 2 to build a competitive car. But there really isn't a lot to those cars.
I've seen Robbie build 4.6 Vic in 2 days out of Skinny Elser's shop.
Yeah.
We decided last minute he was going to run a car, pulls it in, start stripping it out. I don't know, wires were hanging out over the dash. This guy had everything. I was like, this son of a bitch ain't never going to run again. Pretty soon it started right up and he's ready to go. I mean, he's amazing when it comes to that wiring and harnesses and stuff like that. And them harnesses are affordable. Get a hold of him, buy 2, buy 3, get some friends together and go have fun.
And the great thing is Robbie can do all of that with an earbud in his ear, answering phone calls while it's happening. So,
yep.
I mean, that's a professional right there.
Seen that. We're still King of the Ring champs. Fatty rode off of Robbie's coattails and ended up getting a Vic down there. And me and Fatty ended up taking King of the Ring from a Chad show. But Robbie was the one that actually won that. He built the car. You don't think Fatty did it, do you?
We know better. I mean, we know better. Fatty's he's a good man. He's a good man. We like
Fatty's still on his Dent pedestal. I don't think he's ever got off that chair. I think
he won Dent, right?
Yeah.
He's getting carried around, Jimmy.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure you knew if you hadn't heard already. He won Dent.
Yep.
Right. We also let's move on a little bit to these other classes. We got our compact elite 2-man team division 2. Compact cars for you compact guys. Class isn't full yet. We got spots open. So get in there and get signed up for that if you want to compete in the compacts. Always exciting. You know, there's always that good amount of people out there who love watching those compact cars buzz around. They're fast, they're quick. You know, I've never personally been in one. I get guys all the time wanting me to do it. Dustin, you've been in it. You know how different it is being in one of those.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Jimmy doesn't probably know this, but I do run derby cars. Okay, big cars. A lot of these guys think I haven't. I do have big one. I got a check right up there, Jimmy. That's not even the $10,000 one.
He had it printed out.
I got a big win, but I tell you what, I got in these compact cars with some buddies and got my ass whooped. They're fast. That's the thing. It's the weirdest thing. In a big car, people can't get from A to B so quick. And these mini cars, Jimmy, have you ever been in a mini car?
boat anchors.
They're so quick. I never anticipated, spots or you're on the track, you're looking all around, and then all of a sudden this guy just goes from like 0 to 50 and just whacks your front wheel, and you're like, I never get hit in the front wheel. Like I would never
Right.
let that happen, but it just happens so quick. You're like, what is going on? I mean, they zip around the arena.
Yeah.
I didn't have the last time I ran one of those. I don't think I had a lot of fans on the track, Brian. I think that,
or off the track for that matter.
I think every single car hit me. It felt like.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Hey, but look, that class is $10K to win. It's based on 40 entries, $10,000 to win. It's a lighter build compact. It's not a heavy build. So if you guys have a group of you out there, 2 of you guys out there that want to sign up for that, get on the website, sign up. Trucks, we got trucks.
Hey, real quick on that class, Brian. That class is sold out every year, and I think, arguably, honestly, it's the best compact we see. Anyone that's ran it is wild. Jimmy, in this format, with these 2-man teams, what we do is we put 5 teams on the track at once, and we only take one. It's war. It is crazy. It is intense. 5 teams on the track, 5 2-man teams on the track at one time. You take one, and these guys absolutely put on a show. Last year it was in front of Goldberg, and we were like, hey, guys, the first heat was a little slow. We're like, you got to turn it up a little bit. And they did. They listen, they deliver. And who else is paying 10 grand, for compacts? I mean, I think we started that. There's a couple guys out there now. That's a lot of money, man. $5 grand a piece for a 2-man team show.
Well, especially for a lighter compact build. We're not talking about mod compacts or the heavy stuff. These are pretty light. And then next thing we got, full size pro trucks. This is my class. This is what I compete in. Everybody out there knows, if you know a truck guy, he's a little crazy. He's probably got a pretty basic set of crayons that he's playing with. Fan favorites, always fun. If you think these other people are nuts, go meet a truck guy and talk to them for a while. We do some pretty stupid things in trucks. So that's available. 20 entries, 2,500 to win. Same thing for our minivans. Minivans are popular out there. I'd love to see more minivans compete for us. There's all kinds of them out there. So get a minivan together. It's a light build, very stock. 2,500 to win based on 20 entries. And then the last division we've got on the list right now is our MWFA. Everybody knows what the MWFA division is. It's popular nationwide. Opportunity for $75 to go in there and win 1,000. And we want to get 20 of those on the track too. So a lot of opportunities here to compete at Demo 2. But again, like you said, Dustin, we're going to put deadlines on these. And if we're not getting these filled out, people aren't showing interest in wanting to compete. Unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel those divisions because we got to move forward with what we got and be as efficient with our time as possible.
Here, take it from Chad's mouth. Jimmy, Chad ran the format for us last year. He's telling you right here, it's comparable to running the team show, meaning you got when the shot's there, you have to take it because you got to beat your competition. And Chad was victorious in the Big 3 last year. Just to poke a little fun at Pete and JT there. So Chad is 1-0 in his format experience. You believe that, Jimmy?
Sun shines on a dog's ass at least once a day.
I watched Chad drive out of a rollover. That was pretty impressive. So
drive out or the wall happened to be there, one of the two. I mean,
whatever. He did
depends on which angle you were watching.
Right.
My eyes were closed, so I was just told that.
I think his eyes were closed too.
He was praying.
When you're going over, and he found the gas pedal, believe it or not. That engine can turn a lot of RPMs. But it was awesome. Those guys and what they did with that Big 3 last year. We're going to attempt to do that again this year. Chat. We've got some people in here. the big three is intended to be like a headliner event. So when you go to see like Taylor Swift in concert, you buy the tickets to see Taylor Swift, but there's always acts before that. The big three and the intentions of the big three is to get some of these superstars that have never ran against each other, get them paid because these guys got paid last year. We tied them up with sponsorships, which is really cool. To my knowledge, besides some like behind the scenes deals, these were the first guys to like ever get paid and it be public and sponsored individually. So, we want to do that again. And we want to find the right guys. We've got a couple guys in mind. Now it's just about lining them up with sponsors. Jimmy, if you had to pick 3 drivers in the nation that you would pay $100 bill to see, who would they be against each other?
As a pun, let's call it, let's say Toby Hiley, Mark Elliott, and Toast. Let's see what they can do to each other. Break up that trio and just see what they can do against each other.
So you're going back whenever I hear those 3 names, it brings me back to 2010 Mayhem.
Yeah,
in which that had to be what you were thinking there, right?
Yeah. I mean, that they made Vix cool back then when Vix wasn't really cool back then, but they brought them and they showed out. Guys ran from them, and can't beat them guys if you're going to run from them. And nobody would listen, so them wagons paid the price for running from them.
Toast almost got the job done that night, and he lost some studs, and that cost him late in that.
Yeah, I do believe he lost it down in that. That would have been the southwest corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember right.
Studs break off. Jimmy, who do you got these guys in? Or what cars do you got them in?
They got to be in Vix 9802s.
And then this is really putting you on the spot. Who's the winner?
Man, I don't know. I'd probably say Toe's probably still going to be putting his car together when he gets to the show.
Mark's going to get it done.
I think so.
All right.
Nothing against you, Tobe or Toast, but I think Mark's got probably a little bit more patience, and he's going to stay out there a little longer. So I think Mark will.
10 lug for life now. Toast says.
Yeah, Toast. That had to be a brutal one. I mean, there are brutal losses out there, and man, to get your name on that trophy back in that time you were the baddest dude on the planet. There is no doubt. Brian, who you got in that big 3?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can pick wrong.
We don't need a politician. We just need
I'm not going to be a politician. I'm going to say Toby. I'm going to go with Toby. I mean, Toby's just one of those guys that just seems to be there all the time when he's out there running. So I'm going to say him.
I'll take Toby.
I'm telling you guys, either any of the 3, you can't ever count short round out. You just can't. Tobe will get her done. There's no doubt about it. And don't make me break out Randy and put him in there and he whip all 3 of their asses.
I think Randy was down at Demo 1 and he was I think he was itching to get back in a car. Just one more time. I don't think it ever ends.
I think there was a story about a camper and the wrong camper, but I ain't too sure about it. So I'll keep my mouth shut about that.
The point of the big 3 guys and what we're doing is essentially, we might have a big 3 to headline the event, draw some attention in. But the reality, guys, and you guys know this, when you pull 60 cars of this caliber to run against each other, you're going to get all kinds of big 3s that you've never seen these guys run against each other. I mean, you're going to get, just think of the demo guys running against each other. You might get Pete Chad round 2, and throw somebody else in there. You could get all.
You don't think they're going to
kinds
be a friendly foe? You don't think Pete and Chad will be each other's friendly foe?
Jimmy, you think they're going to be friendly foes?
I hope not. Good show.
Yeah, we're all about the show, and there's going to be tons of those deals, but we'll try to put together that big 3, whether it's in that class or another class, and kind of headline the show. What else we got to get into tonight before we jump into demo 3? We'll just touch on it just a little bit.
I think we should just touch on demo 3 a little bit. We've been on here about an hour now. We'll wrap it up here with some demo 3 stuff, and then just a quick recap of demo 2, and we'll get everybody out for the night.
All right, let me go back to some of these comments. People just want to know when demo 3 is, what's happening, when and where. Demo 3 is going to be back at the same place, same time of the year, October 2nd through the 5th. That is the plan. And, prepare for that. You're not going to see a much about demo 3 until we get all the information out for demo 2 here. And we wrap that up. We don't, demo 2 is not the redheaded stepchild here. It's a bad show in itself. So we gotta get the demo 2 stuff out first. We got to get through the first of the year here, and then you guys relatively pretty soon are going to start hearing the talk on demo 3 as we hype that up. We know that you guys are making plans. You got to take off work. You got to get with your buddy, maybe to put a team together. Even if it's not for the pro and the pro light, we'll have some other team stuff there, I'm sure. But we wanted to put that out there that, look, that's the plan. The reason why we don't talk about it yet or haven't talked about it yet, because there's a whole game plan here, right? There's a whole campaign when you release these shows that you got to put together, that you got to build the hype and, create the footage. So if you know us, go ahead, Jimmy.
Guys, we've got, as far as charter members, we have a lot of guys from different states in that charter member category. And, I challenge you guys. You guys have got your states. Reach out to you guys. They all got hard cars. We all know that. Reach out to them, and let's get this guys involved in this combat class and make this thing a hit. I think it'll work. I think everybody's going to have a blast. I challenge all the Kansas guys, get these cars pulled out of the weeds. I know most of you, and I know what you got sitting around. Let's get this thing together and come represent your states at the combat class at Demo 2.
And Jimmy, we want to see those Kansas guys that have been running out there, running those hard cars. Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri guys, come this way. Come this way because eventually we're going to be coming out there. So, we will be eventually coming out there, probably sooner than later. And so to come this way, join us on this side of the Mississippi here, and show these guys what's up. I mean, there's always this bragging East versus West. Chad brought it last year. Pete obviously represented at Demo 1. Chad represented at the King of Ohio last year. But there's this fun. Hey, we're the best here. We're the best here. And let's put it all to rest. Put it all on the line.
And not getting off topic here at all, but I'd be misled if I didn't say this. We're all aware of Gary, and he's from Kansas. He fell out there at Blizzard Bash, and he's been fighting there. I would like to ask if everybody out there can, say a prayer for Gary and his family. Number 28, he's still in the hospital. He's still fighting, and any little bit of help that we can give them, we need to try to do it. When I'm coming up to Demo 2, I'm going to get with his best friend, Jonte Green. I'm going to get a hood or something. We got a traveling trophy that that was given to me. I'm gonna make sure it's there. I want to make sure everybody that's across the nation signs. We might bring a hood or whatever. Make sure that we do this, but most of all, just say a prayer for him. If you can give $1 or $2, do that. But guys, you know, let's help this family out. Gary was a great guy, super good guy. Do anything for anybody.
Yeah, we're all in this together. You know, we draw a lot of lines in this sport. You know, whether it's between who you prefer to run for, what area of the country you prefer to run for. But the fact is, we all love it. We all love this sport. We've all given a lot of our lives to it, a lot of passion to it, a lot of emotion to it, money. You know, everything. You know, and it's near and dear to all of us. And you know, that's a common theme that we really need to rest on together and just realize that hey. We're more alike than we are different, and you know, let's put petty stuff aside and come together for what's important, and that's for things exactly like you're talking about, Jimmy, is to lift a guy up, you know, whose family and himself are going through the worst situation. You know, you never plan for that, and let's do everything we can to help them out.
Yeah, no, you know, he's got boys, and they're doing good. I actually talked to John Tay today, and checked on the boys and his girlfriend, wife. I checked on them and stuff. I just felt that you know, I needed to, but you know, and also, hey, most, you know, they're friends. They all ran together. They've ran together for years. You know, shout out to them. You know, Team Most Wanted. They're stand-up guys. You know, so all around, let's just say a prayer. Donate some money if you can, guys. There's a lot of different places out there. I guarantee you that money's going to them, so you don't have to worry about that. And like I said, Gary was a stand-up guy. I've ran against him since he was a teenager. If it wouldn't be for Nick, John, Gary, they actually gave me – I had to run against all these guys, and they picked on the old man all the time. So, you know, they made me the better driver by them being out there. So it's the least I can do. I love all of them. So help them out if you can, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you that weren't there at the show or watching, you know, Jimmy played a very big role and you know, making sure that there was a chance, and there still is a chance. It sounds like Jimmy's saying. So, like, you know, just say a prayer. So thank you, Jimmy, for that. Brian, you want to wrap it up here?
That's yeah, let's wrap it up here. You know, just again, guys, we got memberships on sale. Be a member of Demo. This helps everybody out. This helps the organization out. It helps our sport out. It gets players involved from outside of Demo. When they see that we have a strong membership base and we have unity in this sport, there's no denying it, right? And they want to come in and be involved. So get those memberships. They're on sale now. Demo 2 is coming up. Again, that combat class that we talked a lot about tonight. $50,000 to win based on 60 entries. Used cars, pre-ran cars, pull them out. Get them over here. Run against the best. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And in our format, you have to beat your competition. Here's your chance to show everybody what you got. And you don't got to spend a bunch of money on building a fresh car. Get all that stuff out there. And then and the last thing we touched on there a little bit was Demo 3. It's on the schedule. We're going to be pushing forward with plans and details for that. We'll release that information when we get a little bit further down the road here, get a little closer to Demo 2. And then we're going to move forward through the 2025 year. It's going to be an exciting year of competition all around the sport. But, you know, we're looking forward to being a big part of that.
All right, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Thanks, Jimmy. We appreciate you coming on. You're well respected by everybody, and we can't wait to see what the 2025 year has in store. All right. See you, everybody.